Check.
Oh, okay. That's why I got to say it. But anyway, this is West Wednesday, 662. I just wanted to get started by saying thank you guys for tuning in online and thank you guys for being out here. So it's not the best of weather. So it's beautiful today. As soon as we step outside the street in West Wednesday, it comes to rain, it comes to storm. So it is what it is. But again, rain, the snow, selling shots for still, so we never go down in spite. But I want to start off by just giving our brother Easy some love, just saying love, light and prayers, and just let you know we got your back. We love you, Easy. On the count of three, what y'all say, we love
We love you, Easy.
you. Say three. 1, 2, 3.
We love you, Easy.
Yes, we love you. So yeah, the world will not be nothing without easy. Love you with easy. But just we out here in the streets now. It feels really good to be out here. We know a little bit into the nerve. There's so much happening in the world. You know, there's many people that get from protests, to do different stuff, and it's just sad. But the main purpose why we've been out here now for 662 weeks, which is a very long time, not just fighting for accountability for my big brother Tyrone West, but literally for all the victims of police brutality and murder. We know that it's hand in hand, but the difference with police brutality, when they do stuff to us, no one's even like charging, they just get swept under the rug. And that's the big difference. But with community violence, if you saw the judgment, the judge will pretty much bury the person alive. Like we never see the person again, but then they're usually when it's come down to these killing cops and people that abuse power. And I'm just out here now tonight, and I'm just still disgusted because nothing has changed in 662 weeks. Like I expected like some type of accountability, but yet me and my family are still waiting. And I thank God that my brother's case is being reopened. But again, there's no type of transparency. I feel like I'm still stuck in 2013 at the beginning of all this nightmare. When everything first happened, no one was sat down and tried to progress or anything with what's going on. We literally had to chase people down just to ask questions. And still to this day, we have more questions than answers. We're still scratching our heads trying to find out things. But one thing for certain, and two things for sure that we do know, we know that my brother was brutally unalive. We know that that is real. He did not just an unarmed man that wasn't doing anything wrong. And I'm here not just for an unarmed man. I'm here literally for everybody because nobody has the right to play judge, jury, and executioner. You know, there are certain ways, and I'm not saying wrong, but there are certain ways that you can alleviate a problem or de-escalate the problem instead of executing someone. And it's just sad, it's just beating them down, it's just sad, it's just, I'm seeing too much, it's cool. Nobody has to deserve to go for that nightmare. It's a nightmare. And then now I think about right now, pretty much we're already going to election time. And it's like a lot of people are playing, especially like the local election times, things like that. The people want to change their tunes when it's election time. They want to act like they work for us. There's a lot of things that political that happen. And it's disgusting. But meanwhile, while they act like they're working for the people and trying to make a difference, they're working for themselves. Nobody's going to save us. Unfortunately, we always got, like my brother always says, we all we got, we all we need. And it's just sad. But again, and it says that, but I feel like people, young people, that's the only thing. I feel like this is not a one person fight, this is our fight. So it's saying we have a better world and a better society if we all pull together that one fight, one cause, one purpose. And literally been out here peacefully for all these weeks. And it hasn't gotten us anywhere. Yeah, we get some small victories and things like that, but at the same time, accountability. That's what I get out here for big one for accountability. And not just for my big brother, Tyrone West, but literally for all the victims of police child and murder. But we know, unfortunately, that fact that brutal lives don't pass away. You know, don't succumb to their injuries. You know, we want them to survive. So I'm asking for everybody. No one deserves that. People, that's supposed to serve us and sacrifice the same way that they're going to go back home to their families. Our loved ones deserve to go back home to their families as well. And it's just sad. It's just like we live in a capitalist society that does not care about us. It is what it is. And the system is not broke. Because to me, like I said, something broke at some point in time. It was functioning correctly, and it just broke down. But the system was always rotten to the core. There you go. Always rotten to the core. And it's just sad. It's like how many more people gotta go through what my family is going through? How many more people? And then the saddest part, we have all these politicians, nobody's saving us. They talk all that good stuff to get in office. And as soon as they get in office, they forget that we voted for them. They forget we did all this stuff to fight for local control. What do we have control over? What do we have control over? So it's disgusting to me. Like, what do we literally have control over? We have control over nothing. This capitalist society has control over everything. And it only cares about money. Doesn't care about us. Doesn't care about our livelihood. Doesn't care about anything. And then we have people at one breath saying, hey, let's get rid of all the kids. Let's throw these kids are committing crimes. Let's wash them up, throw them away. Charge them with cars, charge them and just like as they are adults and all this stuff. And like charge them, they all this stuff, right? But then now when it comes time, when election time, it's like, oh, all it's new talk, it's new language. No, we're not going to be fooled. We're not going to be fooled by another politician. We're not going to be fooled. Enough is enough. Like y'all work for us. I don't understand what part y'all don't get about that. Y'all work for the people, but yet y'all the ones suffering. We have no rights over our streets. We have literally no rights over our own lives. Because for me, and the reason why I said that is, if we had a right over our life, then that means I'm guaranteed to be safe. That means I'm guaranteed not to be brutalized, stereotyped, and all types of stuff, and that's not what's happening. And it's getting worse. We're in 2026, y'all. The first day of April. And it's saying it's literally, I feel like just April Fool. We will be the fool to believe that this system is going to change. And this ain't even an April Fool's joke. We would literally be fools if we think that this system is going to change. It's not. I just want to know when it's worth it for me, going to step up to the plate and to this repeat violent offenses in a cell block. That's not where they sell that. It's literally sell that. Because there's no way. And then I looked at a story, and I don't know if y'all remember, it popped up in my timeline. That's why I always like to keep things, even though some things you don't want to remember, but at the same time, you don't need to forget it. It's like a blueprint. When I keep memories, it's a blueprint. Into social media. And I saw the most horrendous thing yesterday. And I remember the story where it happened on my brother JC block, where literally it was Matthew. And I knew him. Like my brother went to school with him. Him and his son both were gunned down by an off-duty police officer, and literally in an unmarked car. But the saddest part, what popped up on my timeline about Matthew was they were talking about the repeat violent offender. They said that person, the officer name, and I'll come back after I let somebody talk, because I have it in my phone. I don't want to be talking through my phone right now. But they literally said that this officer had killed four people before he executed Matthew and his son. And a terrible, horrible offender. And he was all up and down Green Mount Avenue. And it just reminds me of the same thing that happened when we went to go protest about the young man that was going into the bar on Belly and Road. I don't want to say his name wrong or anything, but the young man had literally, what was his name?
Right.
The White Hawkins. The White Hawkins was going into a bar on Bel Air Road, literally minding his business. And we seen a repeat violent offender officer that probably was stalking him because you know the bad officer. Just like everybody said when my brother was murdered, everybody knew about Louise and Chap, and they knew that this would repeat bad officer. So as soon as they see him, they all just get away. So literally all he did was turn around, left the store. But then he was executed. And what happened? Versus Lord jumped on and justified something that's not just at all. And that's disgusting in the fact that the same serial killer, unalive Abdul, literally Abdul alive, the unalive test, literally, last year. In Baltimore, we got to get healed from that. Like, we can't even heal the trauma. We can't even get through it. So they keep doing stuff. All they did was move them from another unit to another side of town, move them literally from over West Baltimore over to East Baltimore to do the same thing. And to know that that same person had unalive and Blue literally did that, like, and probably wanted to get found guilty again. And it'll probably be in your neighborhood doing something to you dog or there, or your children or your lovers. It's sad and disgusting. There is no justice, just us. It's just us. I learned that in 600 and all 664 weeks. It's a long time. That's a long time. So again, we're going to keep fighting. We're never going to stop. Because to me, when we stop, that's to me is the day of our loved ones on war service. Because that's when they have no memory or nothing. But as long as we keep their name alive and keep them out there, they live on through us. They may not be physically here with us, but they'll always be spiritually connected with us. And no one can take that away. No one can take that away. And I just urge anybody that's going through any type of stress, any type of stress, I don't care what it's about. It could be about your finances, it could be about a relationship, whatever it's about. Please, I beg, take care of your mental health. Take care of yourself. In this world that we live in, it's a beautiful world. But the people here are not. Like everybody's not bad. And I thank God that I have that all the people that's out here now are loving people. But some people are not good. And it's a break. But you have to build yourself up, and how you build yourself up, seek help. Don't suffer in silence. That's the most awful, horrible thing that you can do to yourself is just suffer there. Because while you're in that dark spot, you're gonna keep diving deeper and deeper in it. Trust me, I done shook myself out a lot of dark spots. And still sometimes on sleepless restless night, I keep trying to go back up, and I keep trying to be strong and think about the good stuff. So again, just get help. Don't suffer in silence. You need to call somebody. You need to call me. You got my number. You call me in the middle of the night. I don't care. Don't suffer alone. Like, the world is not meant for us to be alone. It really is not. If that was the case, none of us would all be together. If that was the case, for us to be alone and isolated, and that's how you get caught up in your own thoughts and thinking. And then the crazy part, the people that get caught up the most in their wildest thoughts and different ones, they share different nature. That's why the enemy is playing in your mind, right? We be our worst sometimes enemy. The world will not be the same about any of us. We all play our part. We don't know, like, everybody has a special part in life. Everybody. And I just urge you, if you don't know what your special part is, find it. Everybody brings beauty to this world. That's what makes the world beautiful. Different people and what you bring to the table. Every no two people are alike, even y'all can have like minds, like sometimes you're on one accord, but everybody is different, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. So just remember, I always say, live to love to live. I love to love, but please take care of yourself. And I know sometimes, like, with these loved ones, if you take that dark spot and you start thinking about, like, the loved ones not being in there, and that's when it starts happening. You start getting released into all this darkness, right? Please don't suffer like that by yourself. Please. Mic check.
Mike check. Hi, everybody. I wanted to put a couple things out to people because we need to learn as much as we can and know as much as we can go into this. And so the first one is a book that I just started reading by a guy, Vince Omar al-Akbar. The book is called "One Day Everyone Will Have Been Against This All Along," and it's really about it's written about the genocide in Gaza and Palestine, but it's really about how society and how the system tries to blind us to what's going on and how it tries to make us complicit and minimize the suffering of people that are being inflicted by the system. So it's just he opens up the book talking about how he feels complicit in the cover up of the same genocide because he lives here in America now and he doesn't want his 7-year-old daughter to know about this thing that's going on where 7-year-old children are being pulled out of the rooms and homes and they're the only survivor. And ties that to her, but then he still talks about how this is essentially the same thing that the government does to us. It's like it's not just that it's not that that the airport that you paid for dropped a 500-pound bomb on a school full of girls. It's that there was a targeting error, you know, and the site was and the school was impacted. And so it's just a really good book, and I'm really it really covers a lot. Talks about it's applicable to police violence that we do here, to echo sign that we see elsewhere, to impact on trans and gay people. All this one thing is all having to do with the same pattern. And the second thing I wanted to talk about was a little less available because on April 15th, I work at UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County. And on April 15th, there in the library at 4 p.m., which unfortunately is at 4 p.m., not a whole lot of people are going to make it. Also, it's a Wednesday, so some of us have something to do. But I'm going to be there and drive really crazy to get over here because there's a woman who's going to talk on blackness, police violence, and incited delirium. She's talking about racism and the invention of the disease. And she talked about the history of the diagnosis or the claim of excited delirium and how it's used, how it's invented essentially
tasers
in Miami, by this guy who's who's a medical examiner. He just sort of came up with this thing because police killing people and needing some sort of justification. And it's still going on today. It's been pretty much discredited as far as anybody looks at it normally. But anyway, so that's on offer, and if you get a chance, I'm going to go hear this person talk to the professor at Princeton, and I'm really looking forward to it. But that's April 15th at 4 o'clock at UNBC. Thank you.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Thank you, Brother Brown, for sharing that. But when I was telling y'all, a friend of mine named Matthew, his son was executed by a repeat violent offender. And it was a sergeant. His name is Joe Wickles, if I'm saying his name correct. But literally, he had killed 4 people before Matthew and his son. And literally, this killing spree started literally in 2010, 2013, and in 2016.
Shame.
Shame and disgusting. And this repeat violent serial killer that murdered, executed 4, not 1, not 2, 4 human beings, literally was able to come back in our community and execute Matthew and his son, which made it 6 bodies. And I'm not even sure, and I honestly think he never was charged. So that means he's still out here. We don't even know what his body count is now. So the thing is, it's almost like a loose dog that gets a taste of blood. That's going through in the community, biting people. Once they get that taste of blood, no one's safe. And they literally, unfortunately, got to put that dog down. And I'm not saying nobody deserves to get hurt. I'm not for none of that. But what I'm saying is, don't take control and hold them accountable. That's the taste of blood. He's going to keep going. 6 people, including Matthew and his son, but if they were to run that, just put him in a jail cell. 4 bodies to go, 2 by 1. First time we killed somebody. Then the second person when they got killed. The third person when they got killed. The fourth, fifth, and sixth. How many more bodies? It is disgusting. They literally kill us as a sport. Like you watching the games where they're getting it like target practice. It's disgusting. And nobody's going to do anything about it. It's sad. And we're waiting for the system to be like, hey, you know what? They're not. They're not. And it's sad, like, they're not. They are not. So again, it just leads me to the question, like, what are we going to do? Collectively, positively, or what, however, what are we going to do? What can we do? Like, literally, to make a stance to where as though we say enough is enough, no more violence. And then when they say, oh, well, the community violence thing is down now, well, guess what? Most of them are unsolved. So we don't even know if it was y'all. Because y'all legalized gang. That's my believing. I believe y'all right by whether this not the West Court, this I'm stepping outside. This is me, TJ. This is me, my beliefs. I believe that y'all doing all that. I believe some, not every single, community violence thing, but majority of it, again, it's that loose dog, that loose dog. Once you get that taste of blood, it's going to keep going and going and going. And then literally when the uprising happened, the day when Marilyn Mosley said she was going to hold some accountable, they got mad, they turned their back, and it was the Wild Wild West. And I don't think all of that was us with all those violence. It's disgusting, and enough is enough. But collectively, we need to think about what are we going to do. It could easily be us, any day. It is us, because anytime it happens to someone in our community, that is an attack on us. That is being one doorstep from your home. Like, how many more people got to be brutalized before we take the service? Like, we're literally out here in uncomfortable weather. It's raining, y'all. I want to be home in my bed. I toured all day. I'm exhausted. I want to be home. And I'm probably sure everybody here want to be home with their family. But we know it's important to get the message out. Like I said, we're more than had to buy things. We're more than being 16 in the dirt and 50 in the block for a our lives there. And they not standing to the ones that are executing us for the best, for the best of them, they do leave behind. Mike check.
Mic check.
Anybody else want to say anything? Oh my.
Good evening, everyone. Some of you know that my wife and I just moved because we're getting older and we needed to be on one floor. So in the process of moving, we found two very important stones that I had lost track of. And I want to tell the story of these two stones that had to do with the point that Tawana made about never giving up. So my daughter, when she was in college, did a semester abroad in Zimbabwe, one country up from South Africa. And she did a trip one time to South Africa, and in particular to Robben Island. Robben Island was a prison during apartheid. That's where they held Nelson Mandela and many, many other fighters against apartheid. The people that led the tours of the prison mostly had been fighters against apartheid, had been imprisoned there, and after the end of apartheid came back and became guides at that prison that was now not housing anybody in imprisonment. So during a break in the tour, at one point my daughter was talking to this guy, and she mentioned their dad, meaning me, as a communist. So I'm not speaking as a member of West Wednesday Coalition. I'm talking about myself as a member of the Progressive Labor Party. So the guy got very quiet. Anyone need an umbrella?
No. You got it. You got it.
Got very serious, very quiet. He leaned over and he picked up two stones. Because if you were in prison there during apartheid, you spent your days breaking up rocks. Some were dark rocks, and some were very bright, and they glinted in the sun. Nelson Mandela and many others got what they called, not sun blindness. I forget the name of it. But he partially lost his vision from having to do that and all that light running up in his eyes all day. So he hands these two rocks to my daughter, And he says, tell your father, never give up. And we often inspire one another. For example, in LA, one of the families that lost someone to police murder decided to have rallies every Friday, and they were inspired by Tawanda and all of us who have the rallies every Wednesday. So it's true we need to be bigger, but we can be inspired by one another and continue in this struggle. It's fun to make, and if anyone comes to visit, you can see those two rocks.
Very cool.
Anyone else?
So 40.
I'm here to tell y'all that y'all don't need to worry about how big this is, what's big inside of you. It don't take a million people, it takes you and another individual. What beat a big, like, all right, we look at warfare. What beat America in Vietnam? Guerrilla warfare. A couple little people here and there. It's about guerrilla warfare. If you can't get the numbers, then you work with the numbers you got. Okay? Now, Rachel and PSL know that I don't need a lot of people to do what I gotta do. I just show up. Make your power you. You know what I'm saying? Make you the power. If I can do it, you can too. You just gotta have that drive and that ambition. Don't never feel like we need more, we need more. Just work with what you got and make it work hard. Make them uncomfortable where they're comfortable at. You know, every year they come out for election. Listen off every time you see them. Ask them questions they don't want to answer. Don't go along with the dog and pony show. Y'all been riding this ride too long, like Yvonne said. This is my 20-year anniversary. I've been doing this shit for 20 years in Baltimore, 40 years in all, since 1986. So it's 40 years. 40 years of slaves, because the we as the black people, we ain't gonna never be free. The Jews was in Egypt for 400 years, y'all finally let them go. We here for 400 years and we still slaves. And now you're enslaving our Hispanic community. Enslaving our immigrant community. And you're using that same fear that you used on us. It worked on us, now you're working on Kilmar Garcia. Go from Kilmar to so-and-so. And if you keep working, they're going to keep doing it. So, I ain't rambling, just giving you facts. Put it together. If I'm still alive and breathing, and I'm doing this, and I'm 67, then actually give you something to inspire you. I've been doing this fight for 20 years. I buried my son. We're not supposed to bury our kids. Our kids are supposed to bury us. And if we don't resolve to that fact, then you're going to continue to bury our kids. I need somebody to change my dependents. I changed the dependents.
Mic check.
Mic check!
Mic check.
All right, so does anybody want to say that this brand is trying to have
We can sing in the rain. We can dance like Danny Kaye. Make the best of a bad day.
you have a song list tonight? I have. Okay. All right, so I want us to take somebody the time for the let's take $2 for the names that we don't have to lose involved you understand that tonight of salary. So let's take 2 minutes of silence for the post child.
7:43. 7:43.
All right, so that's 45. Now you got two. Okay, you got two. Unfortunately, that's not happy about it. We do have the community violence and the post child. So again, we're going to start now. In fact, that's what we're doing right now.
Almost.
Yeah, so let's come in and let's come back to 2 minutes. Okay.
All right,
7:45.
All right, thank you guys. And again, I'm not down here. I still miss the messy weather. I miss being boots on the ground because it's full organic. And I love being out. Even though I don't love being out here for this type of thing, but I love just being out here boots on the ground, advocating for the ones that cannot no longer be here, or for the family members that's not strong enough to do it. We got y'all back. So I'm just going to send the world quick. It is the mission of the West Coalition to fight for accountability, not just for my big brother, Child West, but literally for all the victims of police brutality and murder. We believe in mediation. We never ever have been violent. We don't believe in that. But again, we just wanted to, we're saying these things not to traumatize nobody, but we're coming from a place of love and respect. And unfortunately, with both of the lists, we have no, general or additional information about anyone surrounding the names or what had happened or anything. All we know was a human being that's no longer here. And we, like I said, with police brutality, these victims need to survive. So again, my heart goes out for the ones that are being brutalized and even where community violence has been, like if you're attacking your community, people don't always succumb to their injury and they're still here. So my heart goes out for everybody that's going through something. But again, we're not trying to disrespect anyone. So if this is traumatizing, this is the time that if you're on your device, it's the time to leave. If you're out here, we don't want to, trigger you. This is the time to walk off. That's fine. But again, we have no information. We just get both of the lists, the national and the local list from different outlets. So, but we have no additional information about who's involved or anything. So, again, I come from a praying place, not the West Coalition. So I was praying, and I'm just hopeful that one day we will, once we destroy this dirty system, we will be able to make sure you are safe again. Like, I don't feel safe, and I'm just doing all this stuff. With that being said, I'm going to hand it over to my brother, Brian, with the community violence center. We'll take it from there. Mike check. Mike check.
Okay, here's my question. So I'm not gonna give you a whole lot, but because I always like to remind people that, we're reading off these names. Sometimes there's a lot of them. I think there's only two. But each of these people is an entire world unto themselves. Each people has a community, as a mother, as a father, as lovers, as co-workers. Every one of these deaths is causes a ripple that goes out through the whole world. And so I ask you to lift them up, lift up their families, and to dedicate ourselves to eradicating the violence that plagues this community. So can you just echo their names back for me? Josiah Miles. Sean Hicks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike, yeah.
So I have the national list of police brutality victims to aside to answer the police. This is for the period of the 23rd of March to the 26th of March. We know that each of these people had a whole community around them and that they had lost this person. So let's again repeat the names. This is a shorter list than we sometimes have, but it's a little more than 2 a day in that time period. So on the 23rd of March in Westminster, Massachusetts, 22-year-old male Zachary Godet. On the 23rd in Palm Bay, Florida, 53-year-old female Pamela Rimmel. On the 23rd in Statesville, Arizona, 48-year-old male Christopher Johnson. On the 24th in Dayton, Ohio, 44-year-old male Reginald Thomas. On the 24th in Des Moines, Iowa, 33-year-old male, his name was withheld by the police.
Soapbox for killing cops.
I say.
On the 25th in Houston, Texas, a male, his age is unknown, and his name was also withheld by the police.
Soapbox for killing cops.
I say.
On the 25th, also in Ellertown, Pennsylvania, a male, whose age is unknown, and his name again is withheld by the police.
Soapbox for killing cops.
I say.
On the 25th, in Brooklyn Park, Florida, 53-year-old male, Wayne Halston.
Wayne
Halston.
And then the final one for this evening, on the 26th, in Chilham, Maryland, not far from here, a male whose age is unknown and his name again was withheld by the police.
Soapbox for killing cops.
Say.
Thank you.
And again, I just want to thank each and every last one of y'all. And it's just that little store at a time. We have all those things. One name is way too many. It's sad, it's disgusting. But we're more than hashtags and body beds. We're more than being 16 in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirts.
Right.
Our lives matter. It may not matter to the people that are taking our lives or brutalizing our lives or just terrorizing us, but it matters to the family members that leave behind. Remember, live to love, love to live,